I do not need your sympathy or your admiration. All I need is your compliance and your fighting skills. And if I can't get that, then you can go back to the wall that I found you crawling on. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Good.
It's the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast.
Hello and welcome to this week's Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast, episode 174, and over in my far corner, I present to you my co-host, Michael Ball. Please check out his channel, it's awesome. Michael Ball, aka Cokewood, and I'm by the gods of science fiction. I run a channel talking about obscure science fiction and forgotten TV series. So there we go. And this week we're going to be covering Pacific Rim, and we have some science fiction news.
Hello, I didn't want to interrupt you till you finished your opening speech. Hello, Martin. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm very good actually. Yeah, I'm very good. I'm in a bloody good mood.
Good. Over the weekend, Martin asked me to do an intro for his channel, which I'm now going to put at the end of each of the podcasts, because at the end we have an outro, and it was him basically doing an MGM sort of raw kind of thing, and you were pleased with it. I was quite pleased with it. So just at the end of each show,
I'm very impressed.
So I love doing stuff like this. So what's been happening? As we record this, we have got one more day tomorrow of January, the longest month of the year, and then when this is actually being played on YouTube, we'll all be in February. January will be the past, the longest, most miserable, depressing, cold, damp, horrible time of the year. So are you going to be pleased that January is going to be gone soon?
It's getting light. It's getting darker later now. I'm quite happy about.
Not much, but a little bit. Not a little bit.
And we've had one or two sort of bright days, haven't we?
Yeah, we had some. Last weekend was pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
Yesterday down here it was really foggy. I don't know if you had fog up there, but we had thick fog almost of the day.
Very rarely get foggy. I mean,
yeah, we don't get foggy.
No.
Stay away from the far.
When I lived in Scarborough, used to get it in the afternoon.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think maybe
this,
something near the sea, you know.
I don't know what it was, but they used to have a fog on, and this mist had come in, even during some big mist cloud had come over Scarborough in the afternoon. And everything had been misted out for a couple of hours, then it would just evaporate.
Yeah.
Which were, I don't know why it had something to do with sea or whatever, you know, but it was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of the fog which obviously is by the sea, and you get the fog sort of like fog banks coming in. So yeah, this week before we go into a topic, actually, now I've got no news, but before we hit record, Martin says he's got some news. So tell us all what's going on, because I've got Sweet FA at the moment. Go on.
Well, actually, I can go to it now, because I posted it, and I did think of you when I posted it.
Okay.
So let me go to my Facebook page.
Right.
I think you're going to be quite impressed with this. I was impressed with it. This is from Agents of Fandom. Just going there now. Hang on. You're going to find this fascinating.
Okay.
It's about Black Mirror.
Oh, they're not making any more, are they? Black Mirror?
Right, hang on. Let's see, more. Right, hang on, it disappeared. Black Mirror. Jesse, Simon, Chris are reportedly confirmed to return for the 3-episode series, the USS McAllister. Yeah, it's happening.
That's the Star Trek one, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. Well, we're going to find out what happened to them.
They're going to make a sequel story.
Yeah, 3-part episode. Yeah.
I love that original. That was my. I think that's my favourite episode of Black Mirror, and it was done so well. I'll bring it on. I did see a thumbnail.
Do you want me to share it to your page?
Yeah. Can you not show us now on here? I don't know if you can show us the image of it.
I could do.
You just got to go into. I think you got to go into apps. Then hang on, it's not that one. Well, look, I mean, yeah, I don't do it often enough to actually show. No, it's all right. I mean, if you try and do it if you can.
No, well, let me do it. Host disabled participant screen sharing.
That's not me. That's the software. I would not.
Oh,
it
right.
sounds like I've got some horrible motive about you, banning you from going. I don't know. But anyway,
I can share it to your page right now if you want me to do that.
No, that's right. Just tell me about it. So it's a 3-part in the making, and I take it everybody's back. Is it from the original one or what? They all died. How did it end? I can't remember how it ended now. That last one.
Well, they escaped through some
That's
kind
right.
of black hole, and him were controlling it all. Here it is. Right, hang on.
I thought he died at the end.
No, when he trapped in that reality.
Oh, that's right. He was trapped in reality.
And
That's
they
right.
left
That's
him in that ship when they.
And they got out. They got out, and he was trapped forever. Or something.
Yeah, and one of Netflix Emmy award-winning episodes, USS Callister, is set to receive a spin-off series on the streaming service Netflix. As learned, a new limited series comprising 3 episodes is scheduled to begin production later this year.
Brilliant.
Released as the first episode of Black Mirror Season 4, USS Callister follows the story of a gaming company CTO. He's the mastermind behind a popular multiplayer game and has a private copy, which he uses to torment his colleagues who fail to show him respect. The episode featuring a Star Trek aesthetic stars Jesse Plemons in the leading role. This is now our first discussion about a USS Callister spin-off. We reported that Netflix was in the process of developing a spin-off episode. So there has been little news since then. In recent months, it was unveiled that Black Mirror would be returning for a seventh season at Netflix. This first emerged listing up various individual profiles for a project titled Haven Green, but we couldn't get Netflix to comment. So there you go. Hang on, and there's shooting dates. Set to be filmed in the United Kingdom, the show aims to begin shooting in spring 2024 and will last for 10 weeks. Details about the spin-off plot remains confidential.
So it'll probably come out next year then, I'd imagine. It won't come out this year.
Breaking news, actually, on the Solo One Sci-Fi podcast.
Fantastic. This is what it's all about. Although, of course, it's 2 days later that it's revealed to be well, but that's fine.
How do you know it's revealed 2 days later? How do you know?
Well, I mean, well, you're going to see it 2 days later. Everybody fucking won't know it by then, won't they? Yeah, no, it sounds good.
No, it got posted about an hour ago. So
okay, so that is new, I saw a thumbnail, but I didn't know it was in relevance to a new thing.
So it got posted today. I'm very excited. It will be interesting to see where that goes, because they were horrible, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's because it does obviously remind me a bit of Galaxy Quest and the Orville as well.
Yes,
and of course
the Orville.
The Orville. Not heard anything more about that series.
No.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think the longer we don't hear about it, the less likely it's going to happen. I think Seth MacFarlane's well into it. It's just that COVID buggered it all up. Basically, it never recovered it, and there's strikes.
I think Orville will probably get turned into a film and go to cinema.
Yeah, I know, but films.
I could say it.
Films are dodgy though. Only really, really, really big successful films.
Well, they could make a
TV movie,
a streaming movie. You know,
like they're making with the Section 31 for Star Trek.
Yes, something like that. But and you've got to pay to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll certainly watch it.
That.
Definitely. Yeah. Fantastic.
But fantastic about this, because the ending was brilliant. So where they're in virtual world, it's like Tron as well, isn't it? Where the
I can see the Tron relevance. Yeah, I can see the Tron relevance.
Definitely. Absolutely fantastic.
Brilliant.
He was a horrible person, him though, wasn't he?
I've watched it twice.
3 times I've watched that.
I'll have to watch the whole series again. I've literally just finished yesterday. I watched the American version of The Office again, the whole thing. It's 9 seasons, and I was a big fan of the British one, and the American one is actually really, really good too. And it was, and of course, there's not many contemporary comedies I like. I know there are some, but that finished 10 years ago. And that's a scary thing. Some of these shows that you think were made quite recently, they're probably about 10, 15 years ago that they were made, and it's amazing how the time.
I'm drafting a Black Mirror Twilight Zone Outer Limits series right now.
Okay. Is this an
I'm
announcement
filming.
or
I'm filming. No, I can go so far. I've drafted
say what
the
you say? What you
first.
can.
I've done the first 2 episodes, and I have a name for the show. I've worked out my intro and the monologue, and I've got the actors, and it's going to be filming.
Well, look,
Wait,
I
I just want to get out. I'll tell you. I can tell you. Oh, I'm not going to reveal too much
it's
now,
up to you. Tell me what you
but
want. What you
I
can.
will tell you after this.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Obviously, and
I'd rather
no,
because
that's fine.
I'm going to this film festival Saturday because my film's won an award, and I don't want to say any more until I've been there and got the photographs and the proof. When I've gone there, done it, and then I'll post it. But I will tell you what I am doing, and yeah, so yeah, I've been watching Twilight Zone Outer Limits. I want to make a comedy version of that. You know, they get the dark serious endings. I want a ridiculous ending at each episode. So, but it's funny.
I think it would be funny actually to have a mix of the Twilight Zone and the Orville, as in the comedy side of the Orville, but the science fiction stories of the Twilight Zone. It's like there's so many great. I'm a big fan of the '80s Twilight Zone. And the ones I remember, the one with the guy that's playing the piano, and he plays the piano. He's in jail, and he suddenly the piano is connected to the piano's lifetime. And he goes back in time, and he goes back to the person who put another convict in. And I'd love to make it in a way that it's still prominent, but it has a more of a comedy edge. A bit like Red Dwarf is in science fiction, or I was a big fan of comedy and science fiction. Some shows do it right, and some shows don't. The one that was terrible was that one. Was it Avenue 5? What's the one with the space station? Oh, and also the one with
I watched that. I gave up after season 1, and I gave up on that other one.
Steve Carell with Space Quest, Space Force. I couldn't get into that at all.
I tried, mate. I really did try.
I did try. I could get into it. I saw half of it. I just thought it was boring as shit.
It was hard work watching that.
Yeah, I know.
It was hard work. I really tried because I like him, the actor.
Steve. Well, got back to the office.
I just thought this is just getting terrible. Is this?
Yeah, I know. It's weird, isn't it? What is it? It's weird that makes it work because it's like I watched. You remember the film Alive, where the plane crashes near the
where they eat the people. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've just made another one. Something in the snow. Something of the snow. I think it's Society of the Snow. It's called, and it's actually. I think it's they're speaking in Spanish, so I think it's. I'm not sure it's made. It's a Netflix production, but it's not predominantly.
I've seen that advertised. Yeah,
I just saw it. And right now, the thing is, it was actually all right. I know it's not quite science fiction, but it's. I don't care. We can discuss it real quickly. The problem is that the actors or the characters in the new version, none of them stood out. I couldn't. It was very hard to differentiate which character was which. Where when you watch the one from the '90s. The John Cusack's in it, I think. John Malkovich. John Malkovich is in it. You see him at the beginning, but it's his younger self as the character. That stood out. That really worked for me, that one. But it was interesting. I thought, so why have they remade this again when the original one, for me, stood out? And it's one of those things where sometimes you get remakes of things. I think, well, why bother? Just watch the original one. There's nothing more to say. It was a terrible situation with these people in a predicament. Sometimes you just don't make it. I mean, some things do work. I mean, like June 2 is coming out not too long.
I've seen the trailer for that.
I'm really excited. And Ghostbusters. See that?
Have you seen the new trailer?
I have seen the new trailer. It's quite good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and you could feel the old films in it as well. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah, because
they've done it very well.
In the last one, it was the granddaughter and the family living away from New York, and this one looks like it's going to come in much more back to New York, and you got more of the old cast in it as well. And
it's a mixture, and I think they're doing it the right way. I think they've found a very clever way of doing it, and I like seeing
the last one was
again.
fine. Yeah, I mean, I like the last one. I thought it was fine. So we don't mention that the female one, the terrible that one, the one that cannot be mentioned.
I think it's all right. I mean, it
was shit.
It is absolutely.
It was shit. I'm sorry, Martin. It was.
It
shit.
is terrible, but I mean, it's one of them cringy films. If you're in on a Sunday night and you're
And
browsing
you've had a
through,
kebab and about 5 beers, you mean?
yeah, and it pops up on Netflix, and that's the film that'll stop you spending 2 hours looking for something, and you'll end up watching it and think this is absolutely shit.
Yes,
but
basically.
but it does have there is some comical moments in there. But they got it wrong.
I can't
Totally
remember it.
got
No, I think it was. Yeah, I mean, I've only seen it once, but I remember.
I saw that at cinema, you know.
Oh, did you actually go and see it properly? Oh my
I
god!
went to see it. Yeah, I did.
What did you think about it when it came out?
Well, I wasn't so happy when I came out. There were about 5 people in cinema.
Yeah, it's a bit like when I came out and watched Batman versus Superman. You know what I thought about that? I know you
That's
like
a
that.
good film. I like that.
All right,
You know.
Martin. Any other news
Yeah.
before we go into our focus of the week?
No, I think that's it. I'm very excited about the McAllister thing. I really am excited about that.
Sure, sounds good. Bring it on. You know, it's one thing we
Something
need.
to that. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I really am.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we'll soon see it, and we'll do a focus on it. We'll have to do a focus on the previous one as well, the last one as well.
It was Back to the Future next week then.
Yeah, Back to the Future. Yeah,
I'd have thought we'd covered that.
Never done Back to the Future,
Right,
which is really
okay.
sacrilege. There's so
It
many
is
movies on
sacrilege.
review.
It is sacrilege, actually. We should have done that in the beginning.
Yeah, we're seeing as there'll be episode 175 next week. That's taking a long time to get there.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go into our Solar One Sci-Fi Focus of the Week. Here we go.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi.
focus of the week.
All right, so this is a movie which I actually gave this a rewatch over the weekend because I had seen it, but I've not seen it for a long time. I do remember it reminded me a bit of Transformers with robotic things, machines, and it also reminded me of Godzilla. Of course, it was neither of those, but it has elements of. It must have had some influence on some of those films in its own right, and that was, of course, the film Pacific Rim, which is in the Wikipedia stating as being a 2013 American science fiction monster film, directed by Guillermo del Toro, starring Charlie Hunnam, Idris Elba, Rinko Kikuchi, Charlie Day, Robert Kaczynski, Max Martini, and Ron Perlman as well. Ron Perlman is funny in this film as well. And of course, this is the first film in the Pacific Rim franchise, and it went on to have a sequel, which I have as yet not watched, but I intend to. So, Martin, first reactions about this. What do you think of Pacific Rim?
I enjoyed Pacific Rim. It's nothing unique.
No.
Let me tell you why. In 1988, they made a film which Pacific Rim just nicked, basically.
Really? Okay.
And I just want to say R.I.P. Gary Graham. You will be missed, mate.
Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, I heard about it. I told you about it. I think I told you. I told Jay on Sidetrack, and he was quite like, he said, "You what?" Yeah. Gary Graham, great actor.
This is the connection. I do recommend this film for you. It's called Robo Jocks. It's set in the 1980s.
Okay.
No, it's set in the far future. It's giant robots to fight for territory and resources in a gladiatorial combat thing. There's two powers in the world. And they use mechs, or the mech warriors and all that. It's really good.
Okay.
And I do reckon it's called Robo Jocks.
And Gary Graham's, and he's a
Gary Graham is the lead star. He's
that's
about 25 in it.
Okay.
He's quite young, and he's like the lead actor. And there's quite a few stars in it, and it's very similar to where Pacific Rim you had Godzilla. So you take that out. I like Pacific Rim. I like the concepts of the aliens in the other dimension.
Yeah, it's sort of like a different sort of which actually is. I was going to say I'm watching Monsters, Monarch Legacy of Monsters, and that's the same thing where this is like a portal, a different dimension, where they're coming out of there, and this is very similar. And so I like the idea that this is a race of intelligent creatures who. Lastly, they came to check out our planet in dinosaur era, and they sort of bring these creatures in to sort of they want to wipe us out and terraform us, don't they? That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, they don't even have to send space fleets or anything like that. They open the portal to anywhere, to another dimension, send giant monsters through, keep sending them, and they just destroy everything. And then obviously that's when they come in and invade, when they've devastated the civilizations. But then the human race got together and created the giant robots. What's the name of them? There's a name
because
for
it's
them.
K, like Koyashi or something.
Something. There's an. I forgot what the
I
name.
know. Hang on. Here it's
Keiju.
Keiju. Sorry,
Keiju.
yeah.
And then they create these amazing robots, and they end up like holding the line. They're not winning, but they're holding the line. They're keeping them at bay. It gives them time to prepare, and then we get the story. I like how the world's set up, how it's all changed. But it is a battle for survival, and they work out what's going on. Finally, when they connect up to Monster's brain, they find out what's going on, and I like the whole film. I think it's great, and that's it. And then the sequel came. A lot of people, the sequel bombed actually.
No, I've not seen the sequel. Have you seen the sequel?
I've seen the sequel. To
Is
be
it
honest,
worth a watch?
I did. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It's not as good as first. I'll be straight with you.
I know it's got,
but it wasn't bad.
It's got that guy from the Star Wars sequels. I can't think of his name. The one that plays Finn. Is it Finn?
John Boyega.
That's it. Yeah, I think that's him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know he's in it. I watched the trailer
He's the
for
son. I think he's the son of Idris Elba.
Oh, okay,
He's
that makes
not
sense.
in it. He's not in the second one.
That makes sense.
And I just like the old concepts of the film. Now there were rumours a couple of years ago, it were all over internet. About they were going to tie this into like a Godzilla film with these.
It does have that feel, doesn't it?
Yeah, you could see it because if you go back to the Toho films, the original 1960s Godzilla one, they had Mecha Godzilla.
That's right.
You know, you remember that where they built robotic Godzilla. They were gonna because the second one flopped and then Godzilla was the first one at the cinema. That did well. The Pacific Rim just sunk second one, and so that's why we've not had Pacific Rim 3. I think there's a lot of potential in Pacific Rim. I really do.
Well, like I said, I'm reminded of Monarch Legacy of Monsters, which you've not seen yet.
Seen it yet.
But there is a lot of parallels with these creatures coming out of this this different sort of dimension under the earth, which again is very similar. But it's tied in with Godzilla. Shout out to Malcolm Patterson, who's just started watching it, and he's from what I got, he's very underwhelmed from it. It's a lot more about aspects of. It's not just Godzilla and the monsters. It's more about the idea that it started in the 1950s and its elements are going into 2015 and it's linked together. I like it. I don't know how that series is going, but the thing is, the reason I'm bringing that up is that there is a limitation to films which have just great big giant monsters trashing cities.
That is. Yeah.
That's the problem with it. I mean, you know, this really is the only thing is it's like a Godzilla film without Godzilla in some ways. It just has that feel to it. But I like the idea of humanity having this idea of these huge metallic vehicles, almost like soldiers as a defense, rather than just having tanks and bombs, and they can actually fight with them and punch them and fire missiles and things like that. So I don't know. It just strikes me as unique enough to work.
It's funny because in RoboJocks, the control room, what they stand inside the big robot, is very similar to what they did in Pacific Rim. You know where they run?
Yeah.
And
It's
all they've done. This is 1988, and they've done something very similar.
Well, they probably ripped off that.
Yeah. But I love the technology, and I loved it. When there's like they're inside the machine, they're hooked up to each other, and when they move, the robot moves, and it's just great. I love the battle scenes. But the thing is, you are right. I mean, how many films do you get off the ground of this?
Yes.
I mean, monsters turn up, they defeat it,
and it just goes on and on. It's almost like a boxing match, where it's like it's like Rocky, isn't it? Except with big monsters over a city, rather than being in a wrestling. You know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. It works for me, but it's limited. There's not a lot of there's a limited kind of, because it's in the end it's just fighting, but with giant monsters.
If they did the third one, it'd have to be more about the actual aliens that are controlling this. I
also think that it's a limited, like it's, maybe this goes back to why Monica's got so few monsters. There's only so many times you can see big monsters fighting each other, and this time it's a big monster and a big robot monster, and it's kind of, that's why I think that you don't get lots of Godzilla similar shows which go on for a season or two. It's normally like a one-off movie, or might have a sequel.
I mean, to be honest, where do you go after King Kong and Ghidorah? Where do you go after that? I know there's some kind of super one now, apparently, in the new film that's coming out. It's some kind of super Kong in there or something. That's down there. We haven't seen it yet, but there's some kind of Supreme Emperor monster that's going to be unleashed, and they both have to team up. But how many times do you keep doing that? I mean,
I mean, they have made there's another Godzilla one which has come out recently, which apparently is quite.
Yeah, it's Japanese. It's done very well. Apparently,
I've heard
it's all in Japanese. It's done really well.
They could dub it over.
It's at my cinema.
Yeah,
it's still on there now. But it's still, I saw it over there at poster.
And I still remember the Roland Emmerich Godzilla movie from the 90s. I like that one. Godzilla. Why is everybody hating that movie?
It was a giant iguana running about. It was a giant.
It's still a big lizard thing.
They were saying where they're looking for it in helicopter, and it stood against the skyscraper. They don't know it's there. I mean, just come on. I mean, come on, right. It's a 50-story fucking monster, and they're flying around in Apaches. Where is it? And it's stood behind a skyscraper. I mean, it's all right. I mean, it wasn't Godzilla that. I saw that at cinema. I was very disappointed with that.
Oh yeah, I thought it was. I mean, I still remember the sort of old Japanese movies with the puppet.
I loved them. Grew up on them.
Plodding along. I never watched those. The only one I remember as a kid was watching Godzilla and Godzuki, the cartoon.
Yeah, I grew up on
from
that,
the depths, 30 stories high, and it was
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Oh God, yeah. Every time, I mean, the thing about that cartoon series, you got the family, the scientists, the dad, and they're going somewhere, and then something gets woken up or it's unleashed, and it's a big monster, and it's destroying it. And then Dad gets to his belt and he says, son, we've got to do it. Yeah, Dad, call Godzilla.
How did they call him? I can't remember. How
he had a pager on his belt. It was like
a pager?
Well, I'm just using that as a definition. It was like he had it strapped to his belt, and everything.
Like an office Godzilla.
Yeah, it was like, Dad, we need Godzilla. I mean, Godzuki was fucking useless.
He was just a twat, wasn't he?
Was a twat. He really was. So they're in situations, evil monster, and then they press the button, and it's big sound effects, and fucking Godzilla comes out of the ocean. They have a big punch up, and he defeats it, and then Godzuki's flying around. I mean, but the question is, if Godzuki lives on that boat with them, is he out straight? Because, I mean, if he's shitting
I know, there must be a lot of shit on that. But yeah, exactly.
Peter,
and it must pong a bit as well.
Yeah.
I mean, does he do it through the porthole or what?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have that thing running about.
I mean, he must have a toilet.
So is that thing going to become like Godzilla then? Godzuki then?
I don't know. I mean, they should return to Godzuki like 20 years later or something, and it's Godzilla's old or something.
If you watch the original 60s Japanese ones, which are ridiculous, right? Godzilla there is a little Godzilla. There is, yeah. It lives on Monster Island. It's like there's an episode where it's kicking boulders around, like Godzilla's like patting it on the head. don't get them started on them. I'm a big fan of them films. They are fucking terrible. But I mean, you know, they're classics for what they are. But I do like what they've done with Godzilla. And I think Pacific Rim could be brought in under Monarch, that technology. You could cross
there
it
is a
over
close
to Monarch.
parallel. I mean, the thing is, Pacific it's reminding me of, like I said before, it's a mix. It does have a slight. It reminds me for some reason of Transformers. I know it's not Transformers, but it's just robotic machines which look sort of humanoid shaped.
Well, didn't they do something with King Ghidorah in last one? Didn't they turn it into like a cyborg or something?
Which
I
one?
think, although we're planning in the last Godzilla movie, not Godzilla versus
I don't think
Kong,
I've seen.
the one
I've
before.
only seen. I've seen the Godzilla 2015 one, and I know there's one versus the King Kong or something.
No,
but I
there's
know
been 5 films. There's
I've not
Skull
seen them all.
Island. There's Skull
No,
Island with
I've not
Kong.
seen
That
that.
that was all right.
Yeah.
And then the one where Godzilla fights King Ghidorah. That's the 3-headed thing. That's
So do you
meant
think
to
then?
be.
So what? I
But
mean,
I think they had a robot one in that. I'm sure they did. But is Monarch bringing in that technology
well, it's
in the series? Are they going
well,
at it?
I don't know what they. I mean, at the end of the of season 1, I won't say any spoilers, but they have a victory. But obviously, technologically wise, they have learnt some things. But I'm not going to say too much. But I still think that this Pacific Rim, it could easily link up with the Godzilla franchise.
Oh, definitely. Monarch could
it's
set
very
the technology.
similar. You could see them, and even the fact is that the way that the creatures appear from underground through a dimensional vortex or something,
They couldn't get through.
it's
though,
very
could
similar.
The portal was one way. Only the monsters could get in and out through the portal.
Yeah, but at the end of
couldn't
the first film,
they?
Pacific
because
Rim,
didn't
they did.
use the skin.
Because
the DNA or something.
Yeah, they recognise their own form, which will allow you to go back down. But if you haven't got that DNA, then it's blocked.
Yeah,
But
and they did something, and he
they managed
went
to fool
through
it.
the and then he let the nuke off, didn't he?
Yeah.
But I do recommend the sequel. It's worth a watch.
I'm going to check it out actually. I think I'm interested to see how it all starts up again, because it sort of finished the first one. It felt like the actual rift was closed. They got rid of the big monsters.
Second one's a few years later. It's set a few years, yeah. I can say that.
I did see in the trailer there were 2 of the big robots fighting each other.
Yeah,
So
there's
obviously some internal issue or something going on. Or there'll probably be a baddie who's got some robots, wants to take over, and so the goodies with other robots are stopping them, and then there was one of them wants to get affiliated with the monster. I don't know.
Human nature. We need treachery and backstabbing and snagging, don't we? We need all that.
Oh, it's all part of human nature, as you say. All right, on Zoom we've only got 3 minutes 30 left, so let's wrap it up and give her a rating then. So, let me ask you this week: what would you rate this out of 10?
7.
Yeah, I'll give it. 7. Maybe 7.
Yeah, I just think that's
I'll go
right
7, 7.5, 7.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's not spectacular, is it?
It's slightly
good.
better than average, but it's not fantastic.
Yes.
7 is good. Maybe 6.57. I'll go with 7 like as you.
Yeah.
I can't. But yeah, I think if you haven't seen it, people, check it out. It's worth a watch. I mean, obviously we're given some spoilers, I suppose, but there's still a lot of stuff going on. Visually, it's very good. It's 10-year-old CGI. I think the CGI for the most part is pretty good. A lot of the fight scenes are done at night, which I've understood that they do it at night because apparently on CGI it's a lot cheaper to do stuff dark. Apparently.
Oh, right, I didn't know that. Thank you for that amazing factoid.
I don't know why, but apparently the light, if it's dark, it's easier to do the obviously the way they put it all together, kind of the CGI and mix it all together, and anyway. So Martin, thank you very much. We're going to make this a short one tonight because I don't know about you, but I still feel knackered this time of year. I feel tired, and I just feel like I just don't have the energy. It's this time of year, mate. It's this time of year. It's not very inspiring, is it? No, this is our 5th podcast this month, though. We've done 5 in Jan.
Yeah. Well, because we're the Solo One Sci-Fi podcast. That's fine. We're always there. Out there in the void of time and space, and we're there.
I think we're in the void of January, because that's a void as well, isn't it?
Well, that's why they never do Doctor Who in January, I suppose.
No, no. Well, anyway. All right, Martin. Well, thank you very much.
Just before we
Go. Go on.
they got rid of that Millie, didn't they?
I know. Yeah, and the lady from.
You know why?
No.
I'm fed up of reading articles that
Nobody
they got
knows
rid
why
of
she's
her.
pissed off.
But I get these big headliners. Oh, this is what, and then when you read it, there's nothing there saying why she, So I don't know.
I don't know. I've no idea. But yeah, bring on the new one. The new companion is on Andor, and she seemed okay on that. So hopefully,
well, let's see what happens. So shall we leave now? Is it time to go? We've got 1 minute.
I think we're gonna make like a tree and leave, as I said, on Back to the
Yep.
Future, which we're gonna review next week. What a link, Martin!
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Sacrilege that we apologise for not doing Back to the
No,
Future.
it's coming. We're going to be doing it, and we're going to make like a tree and leave, as they say on that movie.
All
Martin,
right,
thank you very much. See you next week on the
Take care,
Solo One
live
Sci-Fi
long
Podcast.
and prosper.
Bye bye.
Bye.